we find two different Ramayanas happening in two different time frames.
Different locations.
No, two different time frames, two different yugas, and we have kept the memory alive.
But the location is also different, right?
Location is absolutely different. Now,
Yes.
if you are to, because I am also an Indologist, I have a PhD in Indology. If I
Right.
take modern science, then I have to disprove one of them and say it happened here. The other one is a
Mm.
false thing. No, but if I take a Purana, then I can accept both because Rama has come multiple times as an avatara on this earth and he's killed
Mm.
multiple Ravanas. So I can accept both. For
Mm.
me, what is important is it taking me towards my own completion? Is it taking me towards my own fulfillment? तो उसकी मैं पूजा करूंगा. If I'm a Maharashtrian, I'll take Nashik. If I'm a Telugu, I will take Bhadrachalam. So what? Does it
Madras.
say?
Mm.
If you're in Thailand, you will take Ayodhya to be the capital of your own country, and not the Ayodhya which lies in Bharat. So that is the freedom we have. That is the decentralization that we have, right? So, anyways, so we come to Ayodhya where the birth of Ram Lala happens, and what this does to the Kundalini or to the network of nadis, pranic nadis of Bharata is that at least let's start understanding that we have Avataras coming down to earth to protect us. No matter how many millions and crores and billions of people quantitatively exist against the Sanatana Hindu
Yes.
Dharma, just one qualitative avatara can destroy everybody. All the enemies. Isn't that what an avatara means?
Yes.
So
Yes.
it's going to be quality over quantity. So it is not like, Arey, what do we do? There was only one Hindu country, Nepal, that has also become secular. We have no place to go. Hindus have only Bharat. Yes, this is all true.
There is a lot of despondency
No,
actually
not at
at the
all.
moment.
Why? Because we believe in quality.
Hmm.
One chitti descending into human form is enough.
Hmm.
Of course, we are. Kalki, surprisingly, is the only one who exists in everybody. The next
Oh.
Avtara is not just in one person. Of course, you'll find one leader. But
Uh-huh.
Kalki is because, the situation will arise when each one of us have to become Kalki.
But he's described in various compositions and various also Puran. I think there's a Kalki Purana, if I'm not
Yes,
am I right?
yes.
So he's described as a man on horseback with a flag and I think a white flag or something like that. Okay, I know enough not to question all of this, and that sometimes it could just be symbolic. But what would you say to that, Gurunath?
Mostly symbolic. Mostly symbolic.
Symbolic.
Okay. White flag would mean a flag which is flawless, don't you think?
Mm, yes.
A horse could just mean anything on two-wheelers. I see it as a bike. So,
True.
when he's going to kill everybody with his smell, I see that as some chemical weapon.
Is that what is said? That I thought it was a sword that he carries as his
He
weapon.
carries a sword as his weapon, but how do they die? They
Oh,
die of smell.
smell.
Yeah.
Oh,
They die because they can't tolerate his smell. Now,
oh.
okay, now you're the only person who's gone in this deep into something like this. But, uh, the gandha, the smell is represented by Prithvi. Okay?
Yes, earth is the smell tattva.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah. So I also see either that it could be a gas astra or something like that, or it could
Mm,
be something very gross, okay, which
mm,
maybe time will reveal now.
wow.
So it's not very nice if you can look into the future. Even if you can, I think nobody should because
Nobody
there's the
should.
fun in living.
But we're far away from Kalki, right? We're still in the first pada of Kali Yuga. Is it? Am I right?
Oh, this is also something that I differ from others. I say all of us can live in various different yugas. I
अच्छा.
am living in Satyuga because I see only good people. I meet good people. I don't see the stars. So I don't know where you're living. So,
I don't think it's Satyuga.
so yeah. And yeah, I think it is what we create around us. And there was, of course, when they mean in the Puranas, when they mean Kali Yuga or Treta Yuga or something, they mean majority of the consciousness, right? They don't really mean individual, but there are places on earth which are absolute Satya Yuga.
Really?
Yeah, on earth. I mean, it's not like you go to heaven or something. So
So I'm guessing you're referring to the Himalayas.
Himalayas are, yes, one of them, but there are many, many more.
Many other places.
Many other places. And
Somewhere here in down south, we
absolutely,
would love to.
we say our ashram is one.
I'm sure. I'm sure.
So of course,
Okay.
so here's where I what I'm saying is when we have established the Itaralinga at Ayodhya, and Ram Lala has landed back into the Chitti or the Janmanas of Hindu Sanatanis, we can start looking at the idea that, listen, Krishna's words of Yada Yada Hi Dharmasya Glanim Bhavati Bharata will come true. We
Hmm.
have accepted an Avataras descendants on earth again,
Hmm.
which is a far better situation than that existed 20 years or 25 years back. In 1992, I had also gone as a Karsevak. We were arrested in Gwalior. We weren't allowed to move further. And if you look at the difference that has happened from 92 to
Yes.
2020,
Tremendous.
so if you look at what has happened to the new parliament, the Sengol coming in, the Shaivite gurus being there, the
Yes.
acceptance of Sanatana Hindu Dharma, oh, it is mind-boggling where Bharata will go once the Kundalini is awakened. And this is needed in the world. When there are forces which are slitting throats in the name of a god, not understanding what it means. When there are forces who want to create and bomb the hell out of so-called, the other or the non-believer,
Yes.
when there are people who want to destroy the very fabric of your culture, of nature, and make this entire world a desert, don't you think Dharma will come back, bounce back, and say, "Listen, I won't give you a free walk." You know, it's not going to be that easy. So I see this as a very symbolic gesture of Bharat Mata saying, "Okay, Aja, Ram Lala, beta Aja." And now
Hmm.
let's show what it is possible. Now you had your 15 minutes of fame. Let us really show, because the heart of a mother,
Hmm.
is she's very kripalu. She's
Hmm.
dayavan. She's full of mamata. So if
Yes.
there's a naughty boy, she'll probably let him be for some time. But now I think it
Hmm.
is getting a little out of hand, and then we need to teach the world a lot of things that have got missed out: peace, wisdom, way of living, acceptance, meditation, yoga, ayurveda, how to live, get out of consumerism, protect nature, protect forests, conserve water, give pavitrata to everything. This is a piece. This is the planet which has been given to us as custodians for safekeeping for our next generation, and it is not for us to exploit it. Oh, I can go on.
Well, Gurunatha ji, I wanted to understand from you because I mean, it gives me, I feel very nice listening to you because many of us, like I said, there is a kind of a sense of slight despondency about the way things are, and you kind of see, like you mentioned rightly, that there are so many forces, negative forces, that even what's happening around the world in the other parts of the world as well. So, and the more you see a revival of Sanatan Dharma, there is also a countervailing growth in these negative forces. So, how is this going to, whatever you're doing, which is magnificent, how is this? Is it going to empower us in some way to fight these battles? I mean, how is it? how do you see this playing out? Because right now there are just too many enemies and too many negative forces.
I would like to ask this question to you. What do you think?
I'm a very small cog in the wheel, so I can only say that I feel very happy when I hear, you know, uh, evolved souls like yourself. On the other hand, when I see what's happening around the world, I then again feel, I don't know, is this a a war that we're going to win? Or for now it seems nice, but what if things could be different 10 years from now, 20 years from now, if the dispensation changes? So that's what I feel. I'm kind of, always a little bit caught in the two schools of thought.
I understand what you're saying. Well, thank you for feeling upbeat even for a moment. I think that itself is a great victory, right? And I was just sharing this with one of our guests here, and I was telling him the history of Bharata between the 8th century and the 10th century is missing. Did you know that Khalifa Umar himself attacked Afghanistan? Then was in India, right? He attacked the borders of India. Did you know that? And we, even from south, Pulakeshi sends an army from the south. There's an army which goes from Assam. There's an army which goes from Orissa. And they send him back. Now, this is a history which is hidden, but this is recorded. We have inscriptions, okay, that the Islamic forces were sent back. This,
Right.
we are talking of the third Khalifa.
Yes.
And 200 years later, they just walk in, they take over Delhi, they take over Afghanistan, Sindh, Balochistan, so forth. So, when the Islamic forces were stopped in the 8th century, but they could not be stopped in the 10th, these 200 years of history has been, I don't know where they went. And I was pleasantly surprised when I was listening to a podcast of this very beautiful lady. I hope I can meet her someday, called Meenakshi Jain, I think, Dr. Meenakshi.
Meenakshi Jain, that's the historian,
So
yes.
she was telling me that the history has been deliberately deleted so that the resistance of the Hindu forces against Islam is, not known to us.
Actually, Gurunatha ji, there's a wonderful book. I think it's by Coenrad Elstree, who has written a book called The Hindu Resistance to Islamic Invasions. I think that's the name of the book. I can text it to you also. He's authored this book which talks about exactly what you're saying, that there are many such battles which were fought, like the 200 missing period that you speak of, the history. So there are many such battles, such fights that happened, which are not adequately recorded or which are not adequately talked about, perhaps,
or erased from our activity.
or erased. Yeah.
That could be possible because because of my travels to all these places of Ramayana, which is my primary interest. I'm actually not interested in dating them. I am interested in knowing how they affect you. I'm not even interested if they are true or false. I'm only interested in how it affects you. If you go to a place and you feel like committing suicide, that is not a good place to be.
True.
There are some places, I've been to some of these places. They're called suicide points, many of them on Western Ghats, by the way, where you just go and stand on top of a cliff and you feel like jumping down. And you have to work with all your willpower to come back. Okay, and you also feel like somebody is pushing you and all that. It could just be the wind. I'm a scientific person, so I'm just saying. So there are places which give you the creeps. There are places where you feel wonderful, like you're in heaven. So all these places exist on earth, right? And I have been to many places associated with Ramayana, and you can only get inspired.
Please remember to subscribe to us and switch on the notifications for this channel. For our other social media links, more content, and to support our work, please visit citti.net. Dhanyavad. Namaskar.